The Trump administration just set a new precedent whereby they can kill any story they don't like at one of the 4 major broadcasting companies in this country just by not responding to a request for comment. And the craziest part is there's nothing explicitly illegal about this censorship. All right, let me break it down. Earlier this year, Paramount, one of the biggest media companies in our country, was trying to get approval to merge with Skydance Media, a company run by David Ellison, son of billionaire Larry Ellison, who allegedly climaxed for the first time in decades earlier this year when he briefly became the richest man in the world. In order to help the merger go through without tripping up antitrust regulation, David Ellison met with FCC Chair Brendan Carr, a man who is famous for sporting a true-to-life color-corrected pin of the president on his lapel. After that meeting, David Ellison publicly committed to making sure that CBS News would have diverse viewpoints and unbiased journalism, which in 2025 is just code for people who aren't mean to the president. Lo and behold, when the merger did go through, the person Ellison nominated to be editor-in-chief of CBS News, again, one of the 4 major broadcasting news networks in our country, was Bari Weiss, a person who has never been in a serious newsroom ever in her life. When critics were like, hey, it feels like we're putting a Trump administration stooge in one of the most critical spots of our 4th estate, people jumped down their throats being like, no way, Bari Weiss is a First Amendment advocate. She's going to be a champion of free speech. So 60 Minutes, one of the longest standing institutions at CBS News, was like, bet. They did a deep expose on the conditions at CCOT, the El Salvadoran prison that the Trump administration has been deporting immigrants to, some say illegally. The story went through the normal standards and review processes and all the legal review processes at CBS News. They reached out to the DHS for comment. DHS never responded. Hours before the story was set to air, the newly installed editor-in-chief at CBS News, Bari Weiss, pulled the story. Weiss issued a memo in which she said the reason she pulled the story is because it did not provide the administration's response, because they didn't respond to the request for comment. So basically, Bari Weiss is telling her news organization that any story you put out on the Trump administration that they decline to respond to, you cannot put out, which CBS correspondent Sharon Alfonsi correctly notes effectively hands the government a kill switch to kill any stories they don't like about themselves. So to recap, a rich, powerful person wants to consolidate media companies, consolidate news sources, information sources in our ecosystem, agrees to install a government-favorable person as the head of the news organization, and thereby allows all of the people in power to decide what information we do receive and what we don't receive. And the craziest part about all of this is that none of this censorship is illegal. It's just how the systems are currently set up, where money can flow into politics, where antitrust regulation doesn't go far enough, and allows people in power to consolidate power and control what we hear and what we know about what they're doing.